Okay, everyone. I think we have this going. I had a problem with the YouTube stream, but anyway, I am back. Welcome to Santa Fe. We're going to board Colorado One here, and we're going to be Southwest Airlines 1005. So let's go ahead and I will bring that up. Let's go to the flight deck. And we're going to go ahead and look around here. Everything looks good. I started getting started just a little bit earlier, so I may be a little bamboozled here. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome. It's good to be back. I had a shoulder injury, of course. Many of you probably have heard that I had that. And hi, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I hope the stream's set here. Okay, Graham, I see you, and Jesse R. Hey, good to see you, Randy, Randall. I'm glad you're here. So let's go ahead and let me pull up the flight plan. We've added a lot of stuff to the flight simulator. There is so much cool stuff to go with now. And including on-board and on-screen flight planning and so on and so forth. So we're originating in Santa Fe. We're going to fly to Denver. Our alternate is Colorado Springs. We're going to cruise at 37,000 feet, and our cost index is 419. So let's go ahead and get our passenger load while we're in here. And yeah, I'm gonna have to silence my phone here. So everybody stand by one. Okay, let's go ahead. So there's some new stuff in the menus here. This is really cool. I've been upgrading the flight simulator quite a bit since we talked last. It's been what, 4 months, and let's see. Yeah, how about that? Okay, says, whoa, Jesse's on the plane. Yeah, Jesse's on the plane there. How about that? That's pretty cool, huh? All right, let's get in here to the setup, and we're going to go to options, and I'm going to return to setup because that's not exactly where I want. I think I'm going to be a little discombobulated here, so we're going to go to the payload. So we're in first class today. We're really doing economy. So we've got, let's look at our flight plan here and see how many passengers that we've got. And as we go through this, guys, I'll get a little more together here. So we're going to go down. We've got 104 paying passengers, 104 passengers. So we're going to load that up and put them there, all economy. So there's 104 out of the 48 in our cargo. So we're going to be carrying, looks like 5.2 or 5,200 pounds of luggage and various stuff that we're going to be carrying. So 5.2, of course, is going to divide by 2.6. So we're going to call that 2,600 pounds in the forward cargo bay. So we'll load the forward cargo with 2,600 pounds, and we'll do 2,600 pounds in the aft cargo. That gives us a gross weight of 117,000 pounds. That looks pretty good. Our takeoff center of gravity is going to be at 19.1%. We'll be setting that up here in just a few minutes in the FMC. So I'm going to move back over here for just a minute, and we're going to switch that out, and we're going to go through the cargo load. So everything is set. Give you a beautiful outside picture here. We'll go ahead and minimize our screen there. We're in Santa Fe. As you can see, the passenger stairs are there. The sun is going down, so we're going to get into Denver just a little bit after dark, so it should be real pretty flying in there. So let's see. Okay, says Wacky, I'm on a phone and the voice is loud. Well, I've got levels set for that. Let's yeah, we're pretty normal. Levels are looking pretty good. I can maybe back that down just a little bit for you on the audio. There's so many new things in here tonight, guys, that there's going to be some testing, and we're going to weed it all out together. Want to thank all of you for joining in tonight. And we'll go back up on the flight deck here, and let's get back into our loading and setting up of everything that we need. So a zero fuel weight, we're showing 109.8 thousand pounds, so that's good. Let's see. I hope, let's see why that is showing on the screen there. Not sure exactly what's going on. If one of you guys in the chat will let me know what you're seeing on your screen. Are you seeing the logo painting of the Colorado One, or are you seeing the flight sim screen? Okay. Okay. Okay, so you've got the sim screen. Okay, thanks, Randall. I appreciate you coming up with that. It's good. So let's go back to our initialization here. We're going to set our zero fuel weight as 109.8. We're going to look at our plan here for the fuel. So we're going to look for block fuel, and that is at 10,957. So let's go back into our menu here. Options. That's not where I wanted to be. Okay, yeah, here we go. This is the fuel. So we need to load the fuel in. Believe it or not, guys, I did practice this for a couple of nights ahead of time. I'm still getting used to these new systems here. All right, so we're looking for a 10,457 pounds of block fuel, but we're also going to need to add in our reserve fuel, or FinRes, so that's 1,978. So we're going to be at 1.9 there and 10.9 there, so essentially 12.8 thousand gallons, not 112, but 12.8 thousand gallons of fuel. So let's set that. All right, our fuel is set. We can go back to here and we can set in our planned fuel is 10.9. So we'll go ahead and get in 10.9 here. Put it in the flight plan. Our reserves, once again, are 1.9, so we're just going to call it 2.0 to even that out there. We're going to go up and check our cost index. All right, that's 49. That means we're going to be able to get to Denver pretty fast tonight. That's pretty cool. 37,000 feet. Right here is our cruise altitude, so that's in. Let's go ahead and we're going to get now our cruise wind. And what we do with that is we go to where it shows us the top of climb altitude and the top of climb speeds and temperatures and all that. So 271 at 037. So the winds are coming from a heading of 271 and 030 miles an hour. Okay, we've got that. We can set that. I am going to switch over to the other FMC for just a moment. And because our passengers are now loaded, let's go back to FS Actions, Flight Sim Actions, go to ground. We've got our fuel in there. That's where that shows up. Okay, we've got our 104 passengers. So we'll go ahead and release our air stairs and we'll watch them go away. And as you can see, the doors have closed. And as you can see too, the air stairs are getting ready to pull away from the aircraft. There's so many wonderful things that this aircraft can do. It's just really amazing. I did so many sim upgrades during the times that we were that I was out, so it's been fun. Let's see. Yep, you're seeing a bunch of controls, Brian. We are in the cockpit getting everything set. We're watching the air stairs drive away. Let's go ahead and we'll go back into the cockpit now, and let's see where we are with our flight plan. So once again, we've got our perf initialization set. I'm going to set my usual 32 here in the select outside temperature for D rating. It tells us we're going to go ahead and go with climb 1 on that. We're going to set our flaps to flaps 5, and now that everything is loaded, we can get our center of gravity, and that's 19.7. That means we need to set our takeoff trim for 5.83. So we're going to set our takeoff trim wheel to about 5.83. Hey, if you guys have any questions or anything, of course, don't forget, you can ask them in the chat. I'll be paying attention, of course, to some of the things going on screen here and on your screen. But I'll look over at the chat on occasion here, and we'll try to answer your questions. So we've set our trim for takeoff. We're gonna wait to set our V speeds until just a little bit later. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here, and we're going to turn on our, well, actually, we need to go through the rest of the checklist first. So let me bring up the checklist here, and we'll go through that. We're going to go to our upper register here, and we've got parking brake is set. The gear lever is down. The speed brake is off. We're going to set our AC and DC volts meter to read the generator, or the ground generator. We've already put our navigation switch into nav, so that's going to give us our initial GPS position here with the airport. That's all good. Okay, our battery is covered. Our emergency lights are ready. Let's go ahead and turn on those. You should be able to hear, yeah, there's our call to dunes. Hey, Williams here. Jay up in Wyoming is here. Randall is up here from Spokane. Brian out near Buena Vista, Colorado. Jesse is here. That is so cool. And looks like Eru Den Tomral. I think that's yeah, okay, that's Levi. Further up, Levi, I'm glad you're here, man. I am thrilled that you're getting to watch this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to the top of this panel. We're going to turn on our window heat and get that ready, and we're going to go ahead and light up our probe heat. We don't need wing and engine ice. Our electric and engine hydraulic pumps are in the correct positions. That's good. Right now we don't have any fuel pumps on. We're going to come up here now. We're going to turn on our recirc fans. We're going to bring our isolation valve to open, and you can hear some of the audio coming up from that here in the simulator, which is very cool. We're going to go ahead and turn on our engine bleeds now. Our cruise altitude is going to be 37,000 feet. Denver is at about the airport is at about 5,400 feet. So that's good. I'm going to go ahead and switch on some lights here for the exterior of the aircraft. And now we're going to go ahead and crank up our APUs. So let's turn on our APU and start getting it fired up and ready. While that is going, as we go through the checklist here, we do not have that. That's all set. Fuel is loaded. Cruise and landing altitude set. We've set that up there. Let's also check our altitude here and set it to 37,000 feet, because that will be our cruise altitude. Because we're not using VATSIM tonight, we're not going to have a transition cruise altitude, so we'll just go ahead and set that for 37,000 feet. We're a little further ahead. Mike says, worst case scenario, could you land this plane in real life? Mike, actually, to be honest with you, these airplanes practically fly themselves, which is really amazing. But the bottom line is I have been in a real 787 simulator out at the United Flight Training Center. I'm going to bring this audio down for just a little bit. And I actually landed that real 787 Dreamliner 7 times in about a 2-hour span. He'd set me about 10 miles or so from the airport, coming in, using the ILS, doing all that. So yes, it is entirely possible, I think. If you're familiar enough with this stuff, and these aircraft can fly themselves so well that, yeah, they actually can, you know, somebody who at least knows their way around the MCP, the Master Control Panel here, and can read the PFD and the MFD and everything, yeah, I totally believe it's possible. There's a lot of YouTube videos on this, so you might want to check out a little bit of that as well. All right, let's get back to where we need to be here. So we're not going to set our V speeds yet. We're going to go back and look at our flight plan and see what it's telling us here. for our routing. All right, so we know we're going to depart here from Santa Fe, and we're going to go up here to our flight plan. Okay, here we go. No, that's for our alternate airport. Hang on just a minute. Let me get my place here. Okay, here we go. So it tells us we want to land. We want to take off from runway 15. All right, very good. So we're going to take off runway 15. We're going to fly to the XIC-4 transition, or the SID, the standard instrument departure. And XIC-4 here also works for the transition. So we've got that locked in, and we're going to now go to our. Okay, you know, I have not put in the arrival yet, so let's go back to here. Got a little out of order with things. Okay, position, that's right, route. This is where we want to be. So we're going to go to Denver. KDEN is the ICAO code for that. KSAF and then KDEN. This is our flight plan that is loaded in, so we're going to bring that up. We're going to use the company route tonight. We're going to hit activate and execute. So now we can go through everything. We're going to leave that where it is. Okay, so departure. Once again, we're going to depart runway 15 and use the XIC-4 transition, the standard instrument departure there. All right, and now we can go to our arrival airport, and we're going to be arriving in Denver on 16 right. ILS, we'll use the ILS 16 right. That's pretty good. We're going to use the T-bar 3 star, which is a standard terminal arrival procedure. So we've got that there, and we're going to use the Glenda transition going in. This is while you're boarding an airplane. Yeah, William, I wish you could fly too. That would be awesome. That would be. I think Southwest does fly to Santa Fe, hence having it here. All right, let's go to our legs and check everything. That all looks in order. We don't have any vectors oh, there's a vector, so we're going to change the vector here at Marin, all right, which is a waypoint. And we're going to be landing on runway 16 right unless things change between here and Denver. All right, so our flight plan is set. Now we can go ahead and we can get our takeoff V speeds. Let's take our, wait a minute, all right. The V speeds aren't coming up. I missed something in the flight plan. All right, let's go back here. Okay, everything is set there. Flight number tonight, we are Southwest Airlines 1005 for October the 5th, so we're going to put that in. Okay, now we're getting our V speeds, that's why. Okay, 129, so you always set your V2, which I'll explain this as we're taking off. But V2 is where we're climbing after we've done the rotate speed at 125. You can see that on your screen. And so we're going to set our speed bug for 129 plus 15, which is going to be 146. So we're already there. That looks good. All right, we're up here and we're ready to go ahead and go to our APU generators. When you see the lights flash you at that, let's see, Mike says, does the sim ever throw you a catastrophic failure? You know, I haven't had it happen yet. It can. You can. I have failed an engine before, like we had happen here north of Denver not too terribly long ago. What, a year and a half or so, we had a United flight flying to Hawaii. It took off, and as it got over Broomfield, it lost its right engine. So I've done a couple of things like that and have made a successful landing there. Yeah, the door didn't close that one time. You know, notice this part of the panel right here, guys. This tells me what doors are open. And there are no doors open, so you can see we're getting towards sunset here because of my technical difficulty. We're a little late in getting going here, so let's get back to our checklist. The isolation valve, fuel's loaded, passenger cargo route perf in it, and N1 is set. Altimeter, let's go ahead and get our current altimeter reading here, which if I hit the B button, we'll watch that right here, and I hit the B button, we're at 3027. So 3027 is our altimeter, and it's set. We've got the APU on, we've got the APU gens on, or the generators, yes. So let's go ahead and check our APU generator here. That is looking good. All right, and then we go to the pre-flight procedure. We're going to turn our our flight directors on. Altitude, we've already set to cruise rate. We're going to reset the fuel flow. And this is what the pilots are doing, guys, when you're sitting up in the aircraft. And when you've loaded in, the pilots are sitting up there doing all this. But the trick there is there's two of them. There's only one of me, so that's where it can get a little hairy sometimes. All right, our minimums, we're going to set the minimum switch to radio. Our landing gear is down. Our speed brake lever is down. Our start levers and thrust levers are closed. The last thing we're going to do before we start the engines is we're going to go up. We're going to close the yaw damper. All right, everything is set. We're going to go ahead now and turn on our electric pressures, and we're going to turn on the fuel pumps. And auto bleed needs to be, the APU bleed needs to be on. All right, let's start engine number 2. And we're going to come down here and watch engine number 2 spool up. There she goes. We'll come around here and we'll take a look at engine number 2. She's spinning up. All right, that's looking good. We got to go back in the cockpit. All right, we're at 28. We're going to go ahead and introduce fuel to there. While that's spinning up, I'm going to turn off the ground power, and we're going to release the ground power unit. Ground power is released. We're going to remove the chocks from the wheels. The chocks are gone. All right, number 1 has spun up just fine. Let's start up number 2. And we're going to watch her spool up here. All right, N2 is coming up. N2, of course, is that outer fan. So it's spinning up where it needs to be. And when we hit 25, which is right now, I'm going to introduce the fuel lever. Just to show you, these are the fuel levers that I just popped up. This is our thrust lever, of course, our speed brake, our flap lever, and our parking brake. Yeah, Jay, I was going to ask you guys out there, how do the graphics look? Do they look different and better? There's a high-end graphics card in here. There's a new streamer card. We've done a lot of upgrades to the computer. I'm actually looking at a 34-inch gaming monitor here. All right, we're going to turn on the auto throttle. All right, our engines are up, and now we can turn on our engine generators. And when we do that, we're going to turn on the air conditioning, or the RPACs, and we're going to take the isolation valve to auto. All right, everything's looking good here. We can turn off the APU. And if we go to the gen readings, Gen 2 is reading correctly. Gen 1 is also reading correctly. Everything looks good. All right. So at this point, we are ready for taxi. So while we're sitting here, we don't have to have somebody back push us. So we're going to go ahead, and when we're going to head for runway 15, so we're going to essentially take off on that taxiway right in front of us and continue on across runway 20, and we're going to end up over there where you see the red lights. So let's go ahead and lower our flaps to take off, so we'll watch that. And we can see the flaps lowering. That looks good. All right, we'll go back up on the flight deck here. All right, let's go through the rest of the checklist. We're going to turn on the taxi lights. Taxi lights are now on. Engine start switches. Go to continuous for the taxi. All right, we are ready to taxi. So I'm going to release the parking brake. Taxi lights are on. We are cleared to taxi once again via taxiway Golf to runway 15. Turn up the engine sounds a little bit. And we're going to look left, and we're going to look right. I don't really have any other traffic running in this, so we're not really going to see any other aircraft at this time. All right, we're going to verify our takeoff speeds. I'm getting a message over here on my FMC, which I have to the right. So we're going to verify the takeoff speeds. This is another reason that you have two pilots in the aircraft. One can actually fly or drive. The other one can take care of all this ancillary stuff. Jay says the sound is great. All right, Jay, thanks, man. Glad to get some of you guys' comments in here as we taxi out and get ready to go. What a pretty aircraft. All right, we're going to slow up here and take care of our other items that we need to do. All right, so one thing that we need to do first is we need to put our transponder for a flight without any other traffic. Transponding 1200 is correct, so that looks good. And we'll go ahead and turn our transmitter to our transponder rather to TARA. All right, that's set. All right, looking at my checklist here, we're going to turn on the LNAV and VNAV. We made it. Okay, we got both of those. Those are good. All right. We need to set our heading bug to the runway heading. So we're going to set for the runway heading, and then we're going to change our course to a heading of 159 for runway 15. And I'm getting all of this stuff off of a chart here and everything that we're looking at. And let's go to 159 on the first officer's course bug. All right, that's good. All right, we are ready for takeoff. Let's go ahead and taxi around. We're going to turn on our landing lights. I'll show you guys the front view of that. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. All right, we're going to get ready, and we're going to do basically what's called a turn and burn. Southwest does that. All right, engines are at 50%. We're going to hit our toga button, and away we go. We're going to give slide forward pressure on the yoke.
Airspeed alive.
Airspeed's alive.
80 knots.
80 knots checked.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
There's our V2.
Positive rate of climb.
So we'll put the gear up. Hit our first speed indicator there so we can bug up. And we're going to turn into the flight path. Looking down on Santa Fe there through the right wing. And our flaps are coming up because we've hit our first speed marker, so we're at flaps 1. Come on back up on the flight deck. And we can fully retract flaps. Okay, we're at 9,300 feet. And I'm going to keep hand flying her until we hit 10,000. All right, looking good. Southwest 1005, passing through 9,900 feet. All right, and we'll turn on the autopilot. Okay, welcome back up to the flight deck. We're coming through 11,500 feet. And we're heading for our waypoint of Zeise, which is also the SID, the Standard Instrument Departure for this section of Santa Fe. All right, we can bring our gear lever down and lock it. And in just a moment, we're going to begin that right turn to the north to start heading for Denver. And there's a couple of things I can show you here as we do this. Brand new things. I watched this software from Simbox. This is something new that I've added. We can take a nice look at the map here. And we can zoom in and out, and we can kind of see where we are. So if you guys have any questions or anything, be sure to ask in the chat there. I'll try to answer those for you. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up button. Give it a good smash. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, like everybody always says. But anyway, this is a new feature that we've added in. So you can actually watch yourself on the map, and in just a moment, we're going to see ourselves make that turn to the north as we see on the PFD right here. Here's Zeise. And we're climbing through 16,000 feet. When we hit 18,000 feet, we'll go ahead and set our standard altimeter, which is 2,902. Isn't that gorgeous? Just absolutely beautiful view there. Let's take a look outside. And we're beginning our right-hand turn to Zeise. Go ahead and go back in. We've reached 18,000 feet, so let's set our standard altimeter. Jay, no, there's not a public URL for that map. That's something that I just have here in the simulator. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back over here where it belongs. And we'll take another look at that here in just a little while. I'll show you this with it real quick. This is the screen that I'm looking at now from my autopilot. We can see our N1 speed is set, which is basically the FMC is controlling the speed. Our vertical navigation, our lateral navigation, and our autopilot command are on. We're heading for an altitude of 37,000 feet right now. The autopilot is not using the course and heading setting. So go ahead and I'll put that back over here where I normally have it in my flight display. Yeah, you know, Graham, you're saying a really nice sky. Let's pull back out here. This is really cool. I'm going to lower our sounds just a little bit so you can hear me a little bit better. But look at this. Look at this. You've got the sunlight, and you can see where the main terminator is and how it's casting that shadow. This is something we don't get to see from the ground a lot. And a little bit later, yeah, well, look, there's Cassiopeia, the constellation Cassiopeia, and there's the North Star. They do an incredible job of rendering the skies. And as we fly over northern New Mexico, and we look back the way we came, that's a major highway down through there. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are able to see this. So we'll go ahead and turn off our landing and taxi lights. We don't really need those anymore. All right, let's see what we've got set up here. All right, our progress page, I'll show you this on the FMC. Oh, you know, I forget to do this, and I forgot to do it again, but I did not set the clock timer. It's on my checklist, but I did not set that, so we'll go ahead and set that now. All right, so our legs, we're heading for Glenda, 54 miles away, 58 miles, I'm sorry, on a heading of 346. And we'll get there at flight level 369, and then we'll climb to Denver at 370. We'll check our top of descent shortly. Our top of climb is at, well, you know, I reset the clock in this. It's 57 nautical miles away. I'm not flying necessarily in real time because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of daylight, but I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, it's 7:20 local time. Well, little hard to, okay, there we go. All right. That's going to bring our clock closer to where we actually are, but of course, as you see, now it's nearly night. Isn't that a beautiful sky, though? Look, there's the Big Dipper. You see the Big Dipper there? So, yeah, we're going to do a lot of night flying here. I think what we're going to end up doing sometime. By the way, if you look, here's Santa Fe. There's Albuquerque back behind us. That really is pretty cool. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Albuquerque. That's Santa Fe. That is really very, very cool. So we'll come back into the flight deck here. Oh, okay. Hey, Lucas. Hi, Lucas. I just got, okay, Grandpa, do a short shout out to grandson. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Oliver. It's Grandpa. They're watching live at their home here in Lakewood. I'm so glad to see you guys. Let me go ahead and bring up Grandpa all on the screen there. There you go, fellas. Gary says, is this a dinner flight? Sure, it's Southwest. You know, they're serving peanuts and crackers and whatever soft drink that you want there, unless you got your credit card. You know, I could have a Coors beer, I guess. I got some Coors beers and Sam Adams upstairs, but let's see. Don, they have me in coach. Don, you're upgraded. You're upgraded instantly. Don, my buddy up in Steamboat, and Monica up there, thanks for watching. I'm glad you guys found us. I had some technical difficulties with the stream in the beginning, but we got her fixed. So that's a good thing. All right, and once again, my little grandsons are watching. I love you guys. Love you, Oliver, and love you, Lucas. Lucas, I hope you're doing well, buddy, and we'll get to see you here soon. Paul's in there. He says, "Great question, Gary. I could use some pretzels and a Coke." You guys are killing me. Randall says, "Don't complain. I'm in cargo." Yeah, we stuffed him in with the baggage down there. So once again, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. We're going to land in Denver actually in about another 40 minutes. So not a long flight tonight. I wanted to kind of take things easy and get back into the swing of things. And as you can tell, I had a little technical difficulty there in the beginning, but really glad that that all worked out. And I'm glad you guys are here with me tonight. Thanks for coming back and for being part of the stream at the moment. Don't forget, yes, Gary, we are flying over the San Luis Valley. We sure are. If it were daylight, we'd be able to see that. But I'll tell you what, due to the magic of simulation, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, let's go ahead and make it daylight. Let there be light. How about that? I'm going to bring that over here because we're going to land in Denver at night. So let's go ahead and go outside the airplane. And as you can see, this is northern New Mexico. Let me make sure where we are on the map. Yeah, I don't think we're quite to the San Luis Valley just yet. You know, actually, guys, we are not out of New Mexico yet. We're still over northern New Mexico here. I'll bring the map up to show you. We'll leave it daylight for a little while because actually the flight over the San Luis Valley, which we're going to be heading to up here, is really quite spectacular. We're going to make a right turn here shortly and be heading on about this heading. So we'll take a look at that here in just a few minutes. Yeah, Gary, the Sangres are on the right. You're right. The south end of them anyway. So yeah, we'll stay in the daylight here just so you guys can see this. That's the thing with flying this time of year. You get an awful lot of night flights unless you, of course, change it in the simulator, which is very cool. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, I was doing this flight and I could see Mount Blanca. I believe that's up here. Alamosa is going to be here. You can see the great sand dunes up there shortly. We're going to be turning more towards the course this way in just a couple of minutes. So if we come back up on the flight deck, yeah, we're going to be turning to the right and heading up over the San Luis Valley here. So many new additions to a flight simulator. It's really, really cool, all the things that I'm able to do with this thing now. Let's see, Brian says, "I've always thought serving peanuts was insane given the severity of allergies. Don't get me wrong, I love peanuts, but I suppose this is a tribute to all the air filtration systems on modern aircraft." Yeah, and there are quite a few of them there, Brian. One thing that we can do here kind of for the moment, let's see if it will let me do this. No, you know, it does not let me open the door. However, if we go back into the passenger cabin here and we turn around, I can kind of guide us through the passenger cabin, which is kind of cool. You know, one thing that I wish they do in these simulators is if you've got 104 people on board, they'd actually put people in the simulator. That would be very, very cool. So looking forward on the airplane, looking aft, we can travel back. We'll try back here if anybody needs to use a restroom. There you go. Let's see. Let's come over here and go ahead and run into that seat and go this way a little bit. Now we're in the rear galley. Okay, there you go. And there's looking back towards the front of the airplane. I know everybody's gone. It's a ghost. It's a ghost plane. Yeah, you guys are awesome. All right, back on the flight deck. All right, we're making our right turn now, more towards the San Luis Valley. Aren't you glad your pilots don't talk to you the whole time that you're flying? I mean, let's see. That would be really cool, Jay, if I could get pictures of all of you guys and put you in here. That would be really fantastic. Who knows? They might give us that opportunity sometime here. Okay, yeah, we're going to be heading over the Sangre de Cristo, or I'm sorry, the San Luis Valley here in just a minute, trying to get us. Oh yeah, okay, so here you can really see the great sand dunes piled up there at the end of the mouse. How about that? We're not actually going to fly over closer to there. We're going to go up more towards Pagosa, or not Pagosa, Poncha Springs, which is going to be at the end of the mouse there. And in just a little while, after we see some scenery here, I'll make it dark again. All right, let's take a look around here. We're at 37,000 feet. The other day I flew from Denver to Santa Fe, and it took me on a more southerly course out of Denver to the east of Pueblo, and we flew over the Spanish Peaks, and that was pretty spectacular. They do the scenery, they pull all the scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 from Bing, and so it ends up looking very real. See our contrail out the back there. Colorado 1 is going to be my primary plane to fly. I think it's just about the most beautiful airplane in the fleet. It's very cool. We will fly a Freedom 1 some, and we'll do a couple of United flights sometimes. So yeah, you can see down where the sand dunes are. Let's see, over here I believe. It's Mount Blanca, and on up the Sangre de Cristo range there. Randall says, what kind of plane is this? Randall, this is a 737-700. I very much intend down the line to upgrade to a 737-800. And when PMDG is the company that puts out this aircraft and the associated software. When they come out with the 737 MAX, I definitely will be trying to pick one of those up. I'm also going to try to figure out a way to get a cockpit-looking background back here. So we'll do that. All right, let's go back up on the flight deck now and just do some general checks, which is what pilots would be doing at this time. Everything is looking pretty good. Okay, just expanding the map out a little bit, as you can see here on the main flight display. You can see our top of descent is 80 some odd miles away, and if we go to the progress page, yep, top of descent 95 miles away. So we're going to keep it daylight here for just a little while. Yeah, I want to welcome Gary NC2WX, who is the net control and lead for the Skyhub Link 1 o'clock in the afternoon WeatherNet. If you guys are interested in amateur radio, and I've got quite a few friends here. Oh, by the way, okay, Will says, time to play my gig. Glad I could watch some. Love you, Dad. William, love you too, man. Look forward to seeing you next time when you have the opportunity. And yeah, you'll have to try to fly to Santa Fe sometime instead of a 8 or 9 hour drive. It's less than an hour long flight. So there you go. Yeah, Brian says Jack needs a green screen and a chroma key setup. That would be cool. Who knows? Maybe sometime. Um, maybe sometime. One thing I'm going to do. Okay, Gary says, Will, hey, yeah, Will is a very accomplished musician, Gary. Williams, my son, he's a bass player among many other instruments, and he teaches and he does a lot of gigs and plays in some tribute bands. Just really an amazing young man, and I'll actually try to get some videos of them up on my YouTube channel as well as time goes on there. So, yeah, Gary, thanks for that. All right, let's see. So we're 82 miles away from top of descent. And once again, folks, I am reading that here on the FMC progress page. One thing that I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to do a review of what it looks like we need to be doing landing in Denver. And I do that with a web page that I have. Well, actually, let's do that here. Let me bring up the METAR TAF web page. And I'm going to pull this over onto the screen so that you can see it. All right, let's bring up Denver. So winds are from, okay, we can see the winds are from about 115. We're going to have a crosswind landing. I am going to change this. We're going to land on runway 07. We're going to land on runway 07, which is this. They have a lot of traffic, and in the real world, they would have traffic coming from the north. But we're going to come in on runway 07, which is this one. So what we're going to have to do now to do that is we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to look up some information for Denver. So everybody stand by, talk amongst yourselves here for just a minute while I look up some Denver information. I am changing my flight plan. Normally a controller would do this. So I'm downloading the current information for runway 07. All right, very good. So let's go back to, we're going to change our arrival in Denver to the ILS 07. I'm going to hit execute. I'm going to do via the T-bar transition. Okay, we're going to change that. I'm going to come to my legs page. We're going to check our legs page and make sure we don't have any vectors or discontinuities. And there is one, so we're going to go and we're going to do that change. There's another vector. All right, runway 07. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to come back and I want to check my flight plans. So the way that we do this is we're going to come down and we're going to look at that, and I can definitely see some discrepancies in the flight plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go to plan, and we're going to change our resolution. And this is what pilots are doing in the real world. Now you see all this twisting and turning here. We really can't have that. So because we're coming in on runway 07, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the approach page, and we need to essentially make straight for Sarah, which we saw in the legs. So I'm going to bring, okay, that looks good. I'm going to bring our T-bar transition, and we're going to go ahead and insert it direct here. Okay, that cleans up our flight plan, so let's go ahead and step through. Okay, good. This is wonderful. So we'll hit T-bar. Let's make sure and see where our top of descent is. Top of descent's 43 nautical miles, so we've got some setup to do for that. Yeah, you guys fly with me, you're going to get a lot of airline miles. So we'll come through. We'll be over the western part of the metro area here, and we'll come in for a landing on runway 07. So that looks good. All right, let's take a look outside real quick. All right, there you go. How about that? So there's Mount Blanca. There are the sand dunes. This is the San Luis Valley, of course. And this is really cool because you can see Poncha Pass. There's Poncha Pass and the Arkansas River Valley. And the 14ers surrounding. Here's Monarch Pass right over here. So Brian, there's Monarch Pass from 37,000 feet. And the Collegiate Range. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and change back to real time. Let's change back to real time. By the way, South Park and then Denver's going to be off over here. So let's go ahead and change back to real time at this point. Okay, and it's 7:39. So we're going to get real close to that. Okay, 7:34. That's good. There's the lights of Denver off in the distance. And let's come back up on the flight deck. All right, I like to turn some of the lighting down. All right. And I can also go up here. Okay, I'm not going to, actually if I turn that off and then I can't find it, we'll be in the dark. And got to be able to see. All right, we're looking good. Because of those winds that I showed you just a moment ago. One more thing we can look at here. Okay. All right, runway 17 is going to have a 2-knot crosswind and a 6-knot headwind, so that's what I want. That's really good. Runway 08 would be the same, but we're going to land on that east to west runway on the south side of the airport, so we can look once again and tell that runway 07, which we picked at this time, we might not have gotten that from air traffic control, but I'm going to go ahead and pick that for us tonight. Let's see. All right, so we're going to use runway 07. All right, the altimeter is 3025, so before we start our descent, I'm going to preset 3025 in the PFD. So we'll come back to our map here, and we're going to look for 3025. Is our altimeter, which we will change, of course, when we get down to 18,000 feet. There's Denver way off in the distance from 37,000 feet. Let's take another, what was the crosswind on the original runway, Gary says. Okay, hang on here. Let me find that for you. Okay, so the crosswind on the original runway was going to be 16 left or right. Okay, here we go. So, you know, it wouldn't have been that bad to land on that, a 6-knot crosswind and a 2-knot headwind. But I like it reversed better. Let's land on 07 with a 2-knot crosswind and a 6-knot headwind. crosswind component, 34% out of that. It's not really that much, honestly. In the real world, that really would not have bothered us at all, Gary, but a good question. And because I'm self-controlling here tonight, we're going to do it my way. Okay, reset MCP altitude. Yep, because we're coming up on the top of descent, so that's good. Okay, we're going to change our altitude, and we're going to start it on the descent. You see the altitude changing over there. And I'm going to have an entry point for the autopilot at about 7,000 feet according to the charts. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us down to 66 works. That's fine, because then we'll be hitting the autopilot button to take us in. And as you can see, we're beginning our descent. So we're coming down through 36,500, flight level 365. Look out our windows here a little bit. You can kind of hear the engines throttling back. Let me give you some engine sounds. By the way, that's probably Pueblo over there. And there's Colorado Springs. Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Denver. All right. Looking pretty good. Okay, we are on descent profile. That looks good. We can see that by looking at the right-hand side of the MFD, or main flight display. We're about 150 feet above, but that's all right. The aircraft will correct for that in a little bit. Okay, we're going to have to give ourselves a little speed break because we don't want to get up into that red barber pole. You know, Jay, last night I was flying from New Orleans to Denver, and I was doing it in real time, and you couldn't see anything but stars forever. So, you know, you're really dependent upon your flight instruments. Of course, you know, most aircraft, most commercial aircraft anyway, carrying passengers it is always IFR. So that's a for real thing there. Yep, can be a little scary. I remember when I was flying from Las Vegas to Sacramento one night. I looked out the window and I could not see a thing. Couldn't really see the stars. Couldn't see anything ground. There's virtually no population or too much else going on up that western side of Nevada, eastern side of Colorado. It was just pitch black. You could not see squat. So there you go. All right, we're coming up on T-bar here, which was our star point, and we should be somewhere between 22,000 and 20,000 feet by the time that we get to T-bar. The T-bar is about 12 miles out now. Says we're going to be landing in Denver. I know the time is off just a little bit. I did not have it set exact. Yeah, it's telling us we're at 0:41, and it says we're going to land in Denver at 0:56, but I don't think that's going to be quite right. But we'll see. When I change that clock back and forth like that, it has a tendency to kind of mess the time up. All right, so we're going to do a couple of pre-landing checks here. We're going to go ahead and set our auto brake to 3. That should put us off. Landing on 07 should put us about where the one taxiway is that I'm going to be looking for coming on runway 07. And that's going to be taxiway Bravo 4. About 2/3 or so of the way down the runway. So the heading on runway 07 is 082. So we're going to go ahead and set up our courses for that. Normally here you would be talking to Denver Center. They would hand you off to Denver Approach. And then of course once you're cleared for landing, they would hand you off to Tower. All right, making another little left turn here. Many times sitting here in Wheat Ridge, my wife and I have watched aircraft come over from the south to the north and then make that right turn to the east, and they're landing on runway 07 or 08. So we're gonna do an example of that tonight. So while we're in the descent phase here, any questions, any comments, anything you might like to say or ask Captain Jack? You know, I like to think I'm the real Captain Jack. I spend too much time watching Pirates of the Caribbean for sure. But anyway, gonna have fun doing this. I've really missed doing the stream and being able to spend that time with you here, and we'll get some more flights in down the line. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to try to do this every Thursday evening. So there you go. We'll try to make that. We'll do some daytime flights. I'll try to maybe do a flight or two on a Saturday or Sunday. But Sunday right now, guys, sorry, it's football season. I am a Broncos fan and a Chiefs fan. Yep, I'm a Chiefs fan. Brian says, you know, if all the systems in place are working, you can relax and not think about a thing about the endless black. It's a possibility of human error that makes it so scary. Yeah, but you know, Brian, these guys are focused. They are trained. They spend months and months training. They go back for training every few months. It's really just absolutely amazing, these pilots. I tell you, if I were into this much younger and had gotten a real pilot's license, this is something that I would want to do. Okay, Lucas, Oliver, got to go to bed. You're going to miss the landing. I'm sorry. We'll try to do this in the daytime. Love you, Lucas. Love you, Oliver. Mwah. Bye, guys. Okay, we're making a left-hand turn here to go up the west side of the metro area, so we've probably cleared the front range off to the left. Yeah, I believe this is Highway 285. Let's see if I can see on my map real quick. Can't quite tell. However, if we look out to the right of the cockpit, there's Castle Rock. Castle Rock is a little light patch over there. All right, we're on profile. Everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and set our standard altimeter back. Should have done that at 18,000 feet. Yeah, Graham, I'm doing good. I've got about 30%. Let me see, where'd my mouse go? I've got about 30% use of this right arm. I can lift it up to there. I can reach the flight controls. I can drive again, but I can't do this over my head with it. It just won't go. We're working on a lot of exercises to get that ready and to be able to get full mobility back. So there you go. Let's go ahead and come back up on the flight deck. You can see us coming in. Now this is really cool. this is Santa Fe or Highway 85. Here's C470. And then the curve around up the mountains. So we're going to make a left-hand turn here at the waypoint called SUMTT, S-U-M-T-T. Brian says, has the landing gear ever failed landing gear on you? Well, Brian, I'll be honest with you, a couple of times back, especially when I was really learning more, I hit kind of hard and collapsed my nose gear. that actually did happen. So, yes, sir. All right, we're making the left-hand turn up. So pretty. Here's Santa Fe. This is Pecos. I-25 is over here. Wait a minute. No, is that Wadsworth? Yeah, and this is Kipling. Okay. My house is going to be right in here, so we're going to probably fly just to the east of my house. All right, we're coming through 13,000 feet. We need to start thinking about what we're going to do here landing-wise. One other thing that we're going to be able to do tonight that would be much better in the daylight is we're going to be able to record our landing and actually go back and watch our landing. Okay, the next thing we need to do is come down here to the PFD. We see, or the FMC, we see that we're going to have 0.3 difference in the fuel between now and when we land. So we're going to come to our approach reference. We're going to subtract 0.3 from 118. So that's going to make us be at 117.8 gross weight. So we'll plug that in. And we're going to set our approach reference speeds. We're going to do a flaps 30 at 128 knots. So we're going to set that in there now. I want to come back to the legs page. And I want to grab our runway 07. We're going to go to the fixed page. We're going to insert that. That's our runway. We're going to set a radial ring at 5, 10, and 15 miles an hour. I really trust the autopilot in this aircraft to be doing what it's supposed to be doing right now because I'm not looking at it. All right, so now we have our approach rings. Wow, this is spectacular. Yep, that's Kipling, Wadsworth, Pecos, downtown Denver. We can see the buildings. We're at 11,000 feet. Normally you do it at 10, but I'm going to go ahead and throw on the landing and taxi lights and give us a view of downtown Denver in the dark. There's the airport off to our northeast. We're going to fly right over downtown Denver for this approach. That's pretty amazing. All right, I need to be in the aircraft now and start watching things. We're going to hit a deceleration point. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and give us flaps 1. And we need to slow down. Okay, our speed's coming down nicely. We should hit Sarah at 9,000 feet. So here's our flight path into the runway. And we can see our distance rings. That all looks good. Southwest 1005 coming through 9,700 feet. Yeah, Graham says the roads are so straight in the USA compared to here. In most cities, Graham, that's true, but there are some where they are not. It's just nuts. And it tends to get you lost. We're going to be landing on runway 07 right here. So that's our runway. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take us to flaps 5. And we're going to bring our speed down. And we're going to get ready to line up on the runway here. And there she comes. All right. We are looking good. I'm going to set our heading bug to the runway heading of 082. And we're lining up. I'm going to arm our approach. Okay, approach is armed. We're 10 miles out according to the distant rings. And we're going to drop our landing gear at about 7 miles out. Okay, we're set to flaps 5. I'm going to bring our speed down to about 158. Take a look out the right window there. Oh, there's some ball fields. Does such a wonderful job of rendering. Looking out the left-hand window. All right, back up on the flight deck. I'm going to turn up the sounds and
2500.
Welcome to Denver. Okay, let's lower gear, landing gear down and in transit. Okay, yeah, we're showing an 8-knot headwind. So we're looking pretty good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the landing. Okay, 5 miles out, coming through 6800. We're on profile, looking really, really good. All right, let's take flaps 15 and reduce our speed. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go flaps 30 and set our speed reference. And I am going to take the airplane. I am flying the airplane. We're above glide slope at the moment. All right, and we're coming in. Yeah, we're a little above the glide slope. Our speed is rep plus 15, so we're at about 140 knots.
500. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
Yeah, we're good.
Glide slope.
Continue.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
We're a little above the glide slope, but we're good. All right. Over the threshold. Smoothly reduce our power. Look to the end of the runway.
50.
Nose up.
40. 30. 20. 10.
And we're down. Reverse thrusters. Not too far off the center line. I'm happy with that. And 80 knots. And we're going to end up right up here at taxiway B4. And because we're southwest, of course, we'll head for C gates. Very good. Welcome to Denver, everybody. We'll go ahead and flaps up. We'll retract our speed brakes. Yeah, it wasn't a bad landing, Graham. I was a little left to center line. Would have liked for it to have been a little bit better, but that's all right. Okay. And we're heading down B4, so need to go ahead and slow her down a little more. All right. Landing lights off. Taxi lights are still on. And I'm going to start the APU and turn the APU bleed on so we can have power when we get to the gate. All right, guys, welcome to Denver. Not too bad at all. I did start the recorder, so we're going to taxi to the gate, and then we're going to try to watch an out the window landing or two. A landing from the outside of the aircraft is not, we'll give it a try, but it may not necessarily look super great. Let's go ahead and do all our resets. Our auto brake can come off. Go through our post-landing checklist here. Okay, flaps, speed brakes are down, flaps are off, landing lights off, probe heat. Go ahead and turn the probe heat off. Reset master alarm. And we're going to continue on via double A. And then turn up golf. They've got the airport all lit up very nicely. There's a landing light pack or a nighttime package, lighting package that you can get for Flight Simulator, and it really makes the airports pretty. I really should sometime maybe put some other aircraft in, but sometime too we're going to fly with VATSIM. Probably the next flight we'll fly with VATSIM. And actually have some real air traffic control and other other pilots in as well, and hear the traffic. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll do that. I wanted to, as we get back into the swing of things here, just do kind of a solo flight, get back into it, ease in it a little time. If you guys want to fly a certain flight, let me know. Okay, Jesse said back for landing. Yay! All right, you guys were back for the landing. That's awesome. I'm sorry I didn't see that until just now, but I was concentrating on the landing, so there we go. All right, here are our C gates. So we're going to turn right on Charlie Sierra, which is coming up, and we can see that it's indicated on the lights here. So we're going to go ahead, on the signs rather, we're going to go ahead and turn right into Charlie Sierra. And here's our C gates over here. These are the B gates where mostly United flights will sit. Okay, love you too, guys. Bye, Lucas. Bye, Oliver. Thank you, Mama. Alex, if you're watching, love you guys. Hope to get to have dinner with you maybe sometime soon here. All right, and we're going to head on over to C gates. Now this is the one thing you don't normally see, is an empty airport. Too funny. But I did not insert any other air traffic. All right, we're just going to make for the first C gate here. Which we'll go to C26. We'll go to C26. Okay, and as we turn into the gates, we'll turn the taxi lights off so we're not blinding people. All right, here we go. Actually, this will not be C26, it'll be C24. All right, let's slow up. And since we don't have an air marshal, I don't have the GSX software, I got to kind of air marshal myself in. And let's go outside the aircraft there. Okay, I'm a little past. Go ahead and throw on the parking brake. And we're going to come back in and go through the shutdown procedure. All right, so the APU is on and ready, APU bleed. We're going to go to the APU gens. All right, we switched over to APU generators. And we'll go ahead and get ready to shut down the engines. We'll bring the engines to off. And we'll come down here and we'll shut the engines down. All right, very good. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to go to FS actions. We're going to set the wheel chocks. Oh, I've got to clear something there. All right, set the wheel chocks. There we go. We're going to request ground power. We're going to change the passenger entry. We've got to wait for the engines to stop. So the engines are spooling down. Want to thank you guys for being here tonight. Gary, great flight. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. We try to make our flights about an hour, most hour and a half. So we'll do that. I'm waiting, of course, for everything to shut down. The engines are still spinning. Now the other night, for some reason, the simulator would not stop the engine spinning. I don't know why, but you guys are going to want to wait around here for just a minute. We'll do the replay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to turn on the ground power. Okay, that switches us over. We see that we're on ground power. We're going to turn off the APU. And the APU bleed is off. We'll leave the air conditioners on until we can open the door and start unboarding the passengers. Okay, we want to unload the cargo. We're not going to sit here and watch all this. I'll just give you guys a little demonstration of how this works. We're going to request the loaders. All right. Still waiting for the engines to completely spool down. Normally you wouldn't have to do this, but for some reason the simulator's been doing this to me lately. All right, Gary says left nose prints on the windows. That's funny. That's all right. We do have a cleaning crew, Gary. They will come through. This does it literally has a cleaning crew. Kid you not. All right, let's see. It's still inhibiting the jetway. I'm not sure why. Oh. Let's go ahead and open the door. And no, we're still inhibited. Okay, we've got an open door, but no jetway, and the engines are stopped. I do not know why it's not letting me bring the jetway. All right, well, let's go ahead and set up to watch a couple of replays here. That's always fun. So we're going to load the final, and we're going to execute. All right, and now I can hit replay.
Live.
All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and watch our replay. I don't know why all the lights are off, but we'll just go ahead and watch a couple of replays here, and we'll call it good. Okay, looking out the right wing there. There's the runway. Yeah, not bad. There go the speed brakes. Okay, let's stop the replay and do it again.
Airspeed's live.
Don't sink. Too low. Don't terrain.
Yeah, we weren't doing that coming in. Okay, here's looking out your right wing, or left wing rather. Kind of dark, can't really see the runway. There it comes. That was not a bad touchdown. Let's see if we can see anything at all from the outside. Nose up attitude is pretty good. And set down and roll out. All right, guys. Well, there you go. Very loud. I'll work on all these controls as time goes on. By the way, I want to show you one more thing here before we close it out tonight, and I'll get just a bare picture of this, but I'm going to put up my opening placard, I call it, and all right, we're going to go ahead and take that down. You'll notice this picture is actually a painting that I have here in my ham shack in my flight simulator room. And this was done by my good friend Cynthia Schumann, wife of Paul, KF0EYS. And those mountains on there, if you take away all the lettering, I'll show you next week the picture without the lettering. But this is actually a 36 by 26 painting. And this is Mount Uncompahgre Mountain. This is the Maroon Bells. And this is Mount of the Holy Cross, and of course, Southwest 737 Colorado 1. We wanted to make a painting and really kind of make it aircraft oriented and spectacular. And I want to thank Cynthia for doing that. I'll show you the unblemished painting on the next stream here. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Really appreciate you being with me. It's been fun. We'll do it again next week. We'll probably fly Denver to somewhere, or maybe we'll do Phoenix to Burbank. Phoenix to Burbank is really fun because Burbank is an extremely tricky airport to land in, so I'll tell you more about that. So in the meantime, God bless you. Thanks for being here tonight, and if you are not... hey, Levi, good night, buddy. Great. Thank you for being here. Man, that really makes me happy. I appreciate that so much. We'll see y'all next week, and let's see. Brian, well, let me read a couple of things here. Brian says, great job. Your Captain Jack always makes me think of the Billy Joel song. That's funny. I always think of Captain Jack Sparrow. And Barbosa doing it. So anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Good night. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you next week. Look for an email. I'll let you know what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. It'll probably be Thursday night. See ya.